Hello and welcome back to Get Off the Pew. I'm so excited to talk about the topic that I have for you all today. Hope it will encourage you, empower you, equip you to move into new spaces. And as you saw on the cover, it's called "You Already Know." You already know what you're supposed to do. We typically know what we're supposed to do, but then we wind up being hesitant in a lot of things. So I have a few notes I jotted down that I want to share with you today to, again, to inspire you, to empower you, to equip you to move beyond that pew of comfort, to move beyond that pew of, you don't think that you know. All right. But you really do already know what you're supposed to do. And one thing I want to let you know right off the bat is that you don't need another sign. You don't need another confirmation. You don't need another prophetic word to tell you what you're supposed to do. You don't need more information. We are in an information overload world, right? Because we have information literally at our fingertips. On our computers, on our phones, on our iPads, all the things that we have to be able to gather information for whatever it is that we need for our life, for our work, for our business, for our family, for our community, whatever it is, you already know what you're supposed to do. But we hesitate on a lot of things, right? So if we're honest, okay, if you're honest, you already know what you're supposed to do. Most people aren't stuck. I don't believe most people are stuck because we're confused, right? I don't think most people are stuck because they're confused. I think that we become stuck or we're stuck because we are not open and willing to walk toward that uncomfortable space, right? They always say what we really want is always on the other side of uncomfortability, right? That's a hard word to say. Uncomfortability, right? Or inconvenient. Or something is inconvenient. We live in such a convenient world, right? We live in such a microwave world that we want everything, right now, right now, right now. And, in true reality, nothing is just right now. For the most things that we really want to have value out of, it's going to take some time, no matter what part of our life that we're looking at, right? So it's inconvenient, it's uncomfortable, it's costly, and it's not necessarily costly in a way that we may think from costly from a financial standpoint, right? Costly from a financial standpoint. It could be costly from our mental capacity, our emotional capacity to handle the things that we're moving toward, right? But again, you already know what you're supposed to do, but those are the things that wind up keeping us in a space that we don't want to be in, right? Somebody's trying to call me. All right. So, as I'm recording this is real raw, right? So, I'm sitting here at my desk just sharing my thoughts with you. Sharing my thoughts with you. So, in that uncomfortable space, it can be inconvenient, it can be costly mentally, financially, emotionally. So, instead of moving, what do? We wind up waiting. We wind up hitting the wait button, the pause button. So this is what it looked like. We pray again. We pray and then we pray, then we pray some more. We wind up planning things out the way we think it's supposed to go, right? Because again, you already know what you're supposed to do, but we'll wind up over planning, preparing to plan and planning to prepare. All right. We'll do a lot of research. Research and pauses us. It causes us, it stalls us too. It pauses us and it stalls us. And then we look for clarity on what it is that we've already received. We've already received what we need to move forward. We've already received what we need to, take that first step. We're not talking about, yes, you can leap and leaping, pushes us out there, but sometimes it takes one step and that's quite all right because one step leads to another step, to another step, to another step, and you wind up getting to the destination that you're trying to get to, right? So sometimes clarity shows up in a quiet knowing. But in that quiet knowing, we wind up talking ourselves out of things. Have you ever done that? I have. All right, I have. Have you ever talked yourself out of something that you know you were supposed to have, or that you knew that you were supposed to take advantage of, right? Because it was in front of you to receive, to receive. So But we talk ourselves out of some great things sometimes. And then, we'll go into, we may potentially go into a slump of, oh man, I can't believe I didn't take advantage of that. Or I didn't do that. And we wind up beating ourselves up. So this is not about condemnation. We're not doing that. This is just about encouraging you and inspiring you and hopefully empowering you to get up off whatever that pew is for you, right? And this is the pew of, oh, I'm going to get ready. I'm almost there. I'm preparing. I'm researching. I'm coming up with all kinds of reasons not to, or excuses, right? And then there's a part where we don't like to admit it, all right? Delayed obedience feels comfortable, feels responsible. Delayed obedience feels comfortable. It feels like we're being responsible. Let me tell you what those can that can look like. It can look like that we're calling it wisdom. It can look like that we're waiting on the right timing. We're waiting on the right time, or we believe we're being careful, we're being cautious and taking too many steps at one time, or going toward that thing again that makes us uncomfortable, or that may be a little inconvenient for us, or maybe costing us some time, some energy, some effort, not just money, right? Some mental capacity, some emotional capacity. So we'll wind up calling it wisdom, timing, and being careful. But, deep down inside, we know the difference between preparation and avoidance, right? We know the difference between the two. We can prepare to do things better, right? We can prepare to make sure that we're part of something that can be of great value and great impact. You want to prepare a speech if you're talking, if you're a speaker, you want to prepare your manuscript for the book that you're going to submit to that potential publisher and everything. So there's certain things we have to prepare for in order to have a level of excellence that we want to, execute. But we can over prepare. We can prepare to prepare to prepare. And that actually can lead to the avoidance. The avoidance. And a lot of times that avoidance doesn't even include the preparing part. We just decide that we're not going to deal with it, whatever that it is. We're just going to avoid it. We're going to stay quiet. We're going to be under the radar. Time to stop being under the radar. We have to get in those spaces where people are waiting on us to get into. These were one of my pews. All right, let's be real transparent. This is one of my pews about, starting a YouTube channel and getting on and talking about the things that I'm speaking of in my book, Get Off the Pew. You can check it out in my description of how to get your own copy of Get Off the Pew. It's a 40-day devotional that that equips you, that inspires you, that prompts you. All right, that prompts you. We know that word prompt, right? That prompts you into making a move, into getting off that pew you've been sitting on too long, whatever that pew is for you. Again, this is talking about what you already know you're supposed to do. So make sure you check that out in my description of getoffthepew.net and get your own copy so you can follow along with what we're going to be talking about. So this is one of my pews that I'm getting off of. I'm started a YouTube channel. So let's see how this goes, right? So I hope you'll hang with me. But let's get back to what I was talking about. We know the difference between preparation and avoidance. And if you've been sitting on something that you already know you're supposed to do, been talking about this the whole time, what you're already supposed to do, this isn't condemnation. We're in it together. I'm continually getting off of pews that I've been sitting on too long. I just shared with you, this was one of them. Get off the pew of hesitation, get off the pew of procrastination, and starting a YouTube channel and just getting my voice out here, and hopefully we'll be able to make an impact and help you in whatever stage of life that you're in, right? But this is an invitation. This is an invitation to you to join me in talking about getting off the pew and talking about those things that we are avoiding. We're all avoiding something. I don't care what your lot in life is right now. We're all avoiding something because that avoidance makes us think that we're not going to be hurt by something, right? That we're not going to miss a potential opportunity that we overlooked because we were avoiding, being denied or avoiding hearing that no. But so this is an invitation to hang with me here in 2026. Let's talk about these pews we've been sitting on too long. I hope you'll join me. Look out for the next one. I'm gonna drop a video every week. That is the goal, to drop a video every week, and you can check it out on this YouTube channel, Get Off the Pew. I am Delmar Johnson. I am your host here, and I hope you'll join me this year. I'm looking forward to what the Lord is going to do here. See you next time. Bye bye.